Hello, and welcome to I'll Try That, the beer review and news podcast. Let's get going. I'll Try That, the beer review and news podcast. Here in London.
Ding dong.
I was thinking about this last night in bed.
Smashed it. Brew for success.
As a soon-to-be fur daddy. Another one in the bag.
I'm vetoing that.
This week, we're talking about an American take on a Belgian White in Blue Moon. But first, the Hop Topic. Hop Topic.
Right. A question for both of you. What do you think the highest ABV beer is in the world?
Maybe like a 60% or something stupid.
Okay, Joe?
I think there's 60%. That's like spirit level. That's crazy for me. I think it's probably going to be in the maybe 15, maybe like the wine territory, the 12-15%.
Okay, it's a 67.5.
Oh my word!
Now, where do you think this originated from? Which country?
Germany.
Poland.
It's the UK.
Oh,
okay. Of course it is. Of course it is.
My brain went straight back to like traditional brewing processes and everything. But Poland, why Poland?
Don't know. It just kind of came to my head.
Fair enough.
Poland.
So Brewmeister have created the Snake Venom beer, which is 67.5 ABV.
I'll blow your head off. But how do you drink that? So
they have said it's so dense that you can't even carbonate it.
I feel like you drink it and your blood would curdle.
That sounds like you're drinking syrup, like really alcoholic syrup. But you obviously can't have like a normal beer drinking occasion where you're having it in a pint glass, or you can't have a pint of that. You've got to. How do you drink it?
So the Scottish brewery has said that it has a fiery finish. I mean, come on, obviously
Deadly finish.
and they've suggested, they've suggested, and I love the fact that they use the word suggested rather than recommend. Don't down it, but having a shot at a time.
Okay, so really, really small amounts. I mean, they're trying. I guess you said Scottish brewery.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's in that environment of having a wee dram, of whiskey. So I guess it's like a small amount of liquid that you sip over time.
Be stronger than most shots of liqueur that you'll ever take. I understand that they've made a beer that's very strong, but it takes away the idea of a beer being a beer, right?
Yes.
So it's no longer. Surely this can't be called a beer.
Well, exactly. I don't understand how they've made a beer like this and they're still calling it beer.
It must be the process.
Yeah.
It would just be the process.
Well, what ingredients, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is probably as close to a beer. It's probably a beer in actual nature, in that it's been created with all the same brewing process and the blah, 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 hops, ingredients, all that. But it's not a beer in how you consume and enjoy it, in my opinion. Yeah. So what's the point?
The kind of interest will be is you can say I've tasted the 67.5%. I mean, 67.5% is incredible.
How expensive is it? Does it say?
It is £47.60 for a bottle.
Wow.
And the bottle is, a 330 milliliter.
Basically, it's a can-sized bottle.
A can-sized bottle, which £50, which what it is, would get you a bottle of whiskey. Like, that is a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
for the experience. It's for the.
I guess it's a novelty as well. Yeah. Like, they probably won't make very much of it. I get that for this. There will be people that want to buy that, want to have that, but that's a crazy amount of money to spend on something which in my opinion, is undrinkable.
It's so unique.
Awful.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe they've said it has a fiery finish, right? Surely that is all it is, because if you're having a shot, you're not going to get much in that. But what an incredible thing to create.
A fiery finish for me, that's just going to burn the whole way around. That doesn't sound enjoyable. Like, it's not like with whiskey where you can kind of get. It keeps giving in that sense. Like, it just feels like that's going to be like. I mean, you might as well be just drinking a habanero pepper.
I feel it would just go really slowly down your throat as well, just burning.
And now for some pursuit of hoppiness.
So this week we're going to be talking about Blue Moon. Now, Blue Moon is a 5.4% ABV, alcohol by volume, Belgian White or Belgian-style wheat ale. And it's well known for what they refer to as the garnish ritual, which is this wedge of orange that you'd put on the glass.
They call themselves Belgian, but it's actually originally from the US of A, or that's where it started, right?
Yes, exactly. So we're going to the mountains of Colorado, Denver, Colorado to be specific. And we're going very specifically to Wheat Ridge. And from Wheat Ridge, you will find the Blue Moon Brewery.
What a fantastic name to link yourself to brewing.
I mean, it was a match made in heaven. You had to build a brewery there.
Yeah.
or a bread factory.
Yeah. I'm glad that there's a beer, not a bread factory, to be honest.
I mean, there might be.
Yeah.
Blue Moon bread does go, though.
I
would buy Blue Moon bread.
Well, let's look a little bit at the history. The fact that this was established in 1995 by a Dr. Keith Villa. Now, he's a doctor because he's got a PhD in brewing from the University of Brussels.
That's epic.
I mean, it's pretty swift.
PhD, I mean, a PhD is what, 6-7 years? To do a PhD, you've got to have a bachelor's degree.
And
that's
masters.
3, maybe 4 years. A master's, that's another year at least.
Yeah, and then it's
and then a PhD, maybe another 2-3 years.
Yeah.
How much beer do you reckon he drunk in that time, though? I'm thinking, near 7 years of just continuously drinking beer.
I mean, that is a commitment to the brewing industry, isn't it? I mean, if you know that's where you want to go and what you want to do. I mean, he obviously sprungboard off that to create this beer in the States. Saw the market potential and opportunity with what was happening in the States at the time during the mid-90s.
He's been very successful because from 2018, they claim to be the number one craft in the US of A. So that was 2 years ago. It might have changed, but to be able to claim that, obviously that work from at university went into...
No, I did have to fact check that because I didn't understand what they meant by number one in craft. Like, what does that mean? And actually, it's backed up by some Nielsen data, the big data people, and they are saying that by sales numbers and by, in the kind of that study, they were the number one in craft.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. And the fact that they're across 25 different countries across the globe is pretty cool as well.
So what I found interesting was it's not always been called Blue Moon when it first started, because he really, really enjoyed baseball. When he brewed it, that was where he was selling it first in the baseball ground and stuff. And it was named the Belly Slide in baseball.
The belly slide.
The belly slide.
That makes so much sense now with sliding into the bases.
Sliding into the bases. So
okay, with you.
I saw you twig then, Simmo, as well. Yeah. But so it was called the Belly Slide and kind of really started to go. But then they changed it to Blue Moon because the name wasn't catchy or wasn't liked as much.
I think it makes sense. I mean, you're looking at the name of what was it, Belly Slide, and then now Blue Moon. I mean, you could probably see the evolution or the growth of this company just in those two names. Because, Belly Slide makes a lot of sense for a new craft ale. You don't have a big company behind you. You can kind of do something a bit quirky, grab attentions. But as soon as you start getting a bit of traction, you want to be something that people can actually call.
Also, if we're honest, baseball is pretty much only big in maybe Japan and America, which means that if you're selling the Belly Slide in England, everyone will be like, well, why? Whilst Blue Moon is a little bit maybe more generic, a little bit more kind of appealing to everyone.
So what I really enjoy is I've just done a little bit more reading, and where the name Blue Moon actually came from was during a tasting session. I'm not too sure how true this is. During a tasting session, somebody said a beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon.
That's nice.
Okay,
that's nice. I can see that. That's a very smart thing to call a beer, Blue Moon. And now you know the story. It comes around once in a blue moon. That's very clever. I do have to read out what this is talking about the location, the brewery itself. And this is a description from their website. Okay. Our U.S. brewery is located in the trendy Reno district of Denver, Colorado. As a hub for creativity and innovation, it's a place teeming with artists, designers, and of course, brewers. Our beer list offers 20-plus tap handles showcasing our fan favorites as well as experimental beers that can only be found in Reno.
They couldn't sound any more pretentious.
Well, no, the problem I've got is the word, as soon as you say something's trendy, I feel like it instantly isn't.
I mean, it's like your mum saying, "Oh, that's very trendy, isn't it?" No offense to our mums, obviously.
Yeah,
it's like that.
It's just, I think it's quite a bold claim, and it's quite interesting. Like, they're obviously proud though of the fact that they've said that they've got these experimental beers and that they're trying new things.
I've got a list of every experimental beer. So they've got the peanut butter ale.
Nice. Okay.
Which sounds quite. They've got the cocoa brown ale.
Right.
Cocoa brown.
Yep. Mango wheat. And the Harvest Pumpkin Ale.
So we need to talk about who owns Blue Moon. So Blue Moon is owned by Molson Coors. Have you guys heard of Molson Coors before?
No, I don't think I have.
Have you ever heard of Molson as a beer brand? Or have you ever heard of Coors as a beer brand?
Coors,
Yeah,
as
Coors.
in Coors Light, as in like
Great.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay,
and
so
Gold.
Molson Coors is the merger. It's a multinational brewing company, formed in 2005 by the merger of Molson of Canada. So if you go to Canada, you'll get Molson everywhere.
Yeah, cool.
And Coors from the US of A. So if you go to the States, you'll find Coors Light, you'll see Coors, you'll see all these other stuff. And so in the United States, it's the second largest brewer by volume. And in the world, it's the fifth largest brewer by volume. They have $10.6 billion worth of revenue and 17,700 employees as of 2019. Now, they are listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Tell me what you think their stock symbol is. You're a brewer and you want to take a symbol, 3 letters.
3 letters that mean
that are going to represent your company for the test of time.
BER, because it's nearly beer.
Yeah, okay, BER, like that.
Oh, ALE. No, because it's not an ale. I got too excited.
But yeah, ale good.
It's like a game.
Yeah.
Oh, MOO, because it's moon. No, because it's the company.
That could be a dairy company then.
Yeah.
I've gone blank on anything brewing, apparently.
So their New York Stock Exchange symbol is TAP, T-A-P.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah, that's
clever.
That's better than all of mine.
So you will definitely know, even if you don't know Molson Coors, it's kind of an AB InBev situation where, they're the world's fifth largest beer company, so they're massive.
Yeah.
But you will definitely recognize some of these brands, okay? You have Aspel's Cider, Carling, Cobra, Foster's, Miller, Peroni, Sharps, Staropramen, and Sol. And that's just a few. Those are the top ones that I picked out that I was going through, but there are loads.
I remember perusing through their website and seeing all the brands, which took me by surprise how many they actually own.
I decided, right, let's have a see how they advertise themselves. Let's see if they've got any interesting adverts. Do they try and push a certain thing? And to be honest, the first ones I looked at were very kind of generic. One of their target lines was Shine Brighter. But the one I really liked was where they had the image of the moon and then it kind of tilted and it was the foam of the head and a person put the slice of the orange in it and then it turned so it wasn't the moon anymore, it was actually the blue moon, and then it said reach for the moon as their kind of, and I think that's actually quite a nice simple advert. Yeah. However, the best advert I saw was literally a man pouring a blue moon into a pint glass. And I just say, that's great. Yeah. It's like the simplicity of it was absolutely fantastic. I was like, they didn't say a single word. The guy just poured it, put it down, and it went blue moon. I thought, do you know what? But
I've not been blown away by any of their advertising, like perusing through their website and stuff like that. It just wasn't screaming or shouting. They weren't trying to sell me on it in any way. And I think,
a thing I noticed talking about their community is it feels a little bit soulless. Blue Moon. Did you guys get that sense? No, we're not in Denver, Colorado. We're not at the tap room, but it's everything we're picking up online from those adverts, from what you've been seeing, what I've noticed as well. It doesn't really have this wow appeal.
It's like corporate.
It does feel a bit
corporate.
So you look at many of the other, all the other beers that we've drunk and reviewed on the other podcasts. You look at the marketing and the advertising that they've put across. You go back to Asahi and what
Asahi. You said that in the podcast.
Yeah.
Another one.
Asahi is a
so
computer.
Asahi.
Asahi is a computer thing.
But that's an Atari. You go.
Yeah, but you look at that. They're advertising their websites. It's impactful. It's clean. It's chic. They're trying to show. They're trying to promote. They're trying to say, "Come drink our beer." But Blue Moon, there's just not doing that. There's not. I don't go out of my way to go, you know what I really fancy? A Blue Moon.
Yeah.
For a company that it doesn't advertise itself, it is kind of everywhere. I do actually. Yeah. I used to think it was. I remember going to a pub and seeing it and going, "Oh, what's that?" And then never thinking about it again because it was on tap, and I was like, "Well, it's an interesting new thing." And then actually, they're in every supermarket. For instance, the label itself, if we get going on to this, it's quite understated.
It doesn't catch my eye. And you look at some of the Gamma Ray that we were drinking last week, sort of thing. That can sticks out. You see it. I was in the pub last night, and we were looking at their taps as well. Gamma Ray taps. They've got a whole art design that comes across it. And the only thing that Blue Moon seemed to just really push is just putting the sodden orange in it.
This is a very different visual style to the likes of Beavertown. Beavertown, Gamma Ray, we've covered them. That is their own unique thing. Blue Moon, it's very clean cut. This is a product of his environment, of where he's come from. He's had influence on it. It's very clean. It's, looking at the label specifically, he's got stuff on there, which makes sense. Like it's ticking a lot of what you need to have on a bottle label for a beer. It's got two massive moons on it. Obviously, it's called Blue Moon. I think this gold on the sides of the label of the because let's face it, it's a Belgian white that's a bit unusual in the American market, but it sells a lot of volume.
And also, I would say it. I feel like it's almost trying not to be. It's not trying to be quirky. It's not trying to be flashy and loud. It's almost kind of maybe. I kind of had a bit of a negative view, as in it's kind of understated. So it's kind of saying like we're quite a classy drink.
Yes.
So it's trying to say that we got a bit of touch of class to us. We don't actually need to shove it in your face.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think you hit the nail right on the head because the liquid literally does the talking for them. Yeah. It is so, like, I haven't tried anything that's like this before, and I've tried a few white beers, but wheat beers from Belgium. But this, for me, a Blue Moon is so distinctive of a taste, and match that with they're just synonymous with orange and that orange wedge. Now, let's talk a bit about that. So, barmen traditionally pair Belgian wheat beers with lemon, but Dr. Keith wanted them to use this orange wedge to heighten the citrus aroma and enhance this drinking experience. That's their real point of differentiation.
Let's talk about the actual flavour and our thoughts on this, because I think that is really important.
I thought we were.
No, but as in, you haven't actually said if you liked it. You haven't actually said if you like it, Joe.
No, I haven't got to forming an opinion about it yet. Well, I'm laying the foundation so we can discuss it. I also don't want to lead the choir, but I don't want to lead the choir because I feel like Blue Moon is almost like a Marmite beer. Either you love it or you hate it.
Okay, that's interesting.
I would definitely agree with that statement because
let's see how Marmite we are here.
I'm not a fan of this beer. I'm sipping it now, and it's just not for me. Simmo's clearly loving it, sort of thing, and I don't like the fact that you have to. Well, Simmo has thumbed an orange into the top of this bottle.
I put it there delicately, with precision. It took me ages.
I think we're getting the real barman experience.
Yeah. Hey. It took me at least 5 minutes to cut the orange, so you should all be happy.
I can tell.
It's because I couldn't find
it in.
Yeah, no.
I love my beer with bits. So.
Well, I feel like we're at a half-time of a football game. Yeah. We're just like getting our orange wedge in there.
I don't appreciate getting abused for my craft. Thank you. I'm a skilled barman.
If you were good at it, we wouldn't.
It's all right, Sim. We'll give you the title of number one craft in this apartment.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, I love it. I love the because it's so different to anything you drink.
Well,
personally, I think Mr. Marmite.
Sit back. Let him have the floor.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
For me, I really like it because it's so different. Because when I drink it, I know that I'm drinking Blue Moon. I definitely know this is a Blue Moon. Even if you don't like it, I feel it's so distinctive. You're like, I am drinking a Blue Moon.
Well, it says it on the bottle.
Yeah, but if you weren't... Oh, you ding that.
Stop sabotaging him. You know what you're doing.
Druitt, your thoughts. Right. I'm not going to talk to Drabwell this podcast.
Okay. Now, children. So, Blue Moon, I've had... it's really popular in the States, as you can imagine. It's I've drunk a fair bit of Blue Moon. I am a fan of Blue Moon. I like how distinctive the taste is. Going back to what you were saying, if you had this in a glass with an orange wedge on the side, visually you'd see it. Even if you hadn't seen the bottle, you know it's a Blue Moon. So that is in itself having a liquid that is so distinctive that people can take, like from a taste test, will know what this is. That's fascinating that they've been able to do that. I think that goes back to his, how he's made the beer. And I'm still giving all the credit to Keith. I know there's a huge team behind it, and I'm sure given he's created the original recipe, got to hats off. There's a time and a place for Blue Moon. Feels because of the orange and because of the citrus, it is, in my eyes, more of a palate cleanser drink. You'd start that off and then you'd go on to something else.
It's definitely the kind of beer that you would walk in, you'd see it on tap and you go, ooh, I'll have one of those.
People will do that because they really like the taste of it, and it's, for me anyway, because of the citrus and it's sweet.
I mean, I don't think I would have this with a meal, maybe a pudding.
So they do specifically call out that you should pair this with seafood, Asian dishes, generic, and chicken dishes, again generic.
But Simmo, you would pair it with ice cream.
I'm going to claim yes, definitely.
What?
Yes, it would go with ice cream because it's orange. Yes. Because I said he would go with ice cream. So I said, yeah.
I didn't know, but that's great.
You would pair it with ice cream.
Yes, I would.
Maybe they should do a collaboration with Mr. Whippy.
Yeah. Do you know what? Why the hell not? Might make him loads of money. It would help out Mr. Whippy. He's having a hard time.
I don't think Mr. Whippy's having a hard time. I love a 99p flake.
They are intrinsically, in their sustainability and responsibility goals, are intrinsically linked to Molson Coors. They don't actually talk much about sustainability, if at all. It's all intrinsically linked with Molson Coors and their goals. So Molson Coors is really proud about their being landfill-free verified. Now, what that means is that they've claimed that an industry leader in waste reduction. So in order to gain that verification, organizations must demonstrate that no more than 1% of waste generated at a single site goes to landfill. Everything from the glass, from what you're doing with the waste that comes out of like the hops, fermentation process.
Cool.
Fact man, give us a fact. Come on, fact man.
You're right. You've been stuck in a classroom all day.
Yeah,
haven't you?
mate, yeah.
It's the first time you've spoken to adults in a while.
I don't know how to speak to adults anymore. I nod my head and walk past.
So, Blue Moon hasn't always been in the best light over the years. In 1999, they were sued by the Confederation of Belgian Brewers over their name or use of the term Belgian White, because they believe it was fooling people into believing that it was brewed in Belgium. Mm-hmm. So they lost that, and they had to add made in USA and Belgian style to their bottles, and it should be on their bottles now.
Belgian style wheat ale. Yeah.
So this is a really fascinating, so that was what, 1999 you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so this isn't just some, like happens in the brewing industry. This happens all in every single category and industry. If you are making a product in a different country, but you're saying, but it's built on something that already exists.
Yeah.
Chobani, the huge dairy yogurt company from the States, they got sued by a Greek yogurt company in Greece because they were calling it a Greek yogurt, one of their major products, a Greek yogurt, but it wasn't made in Greece. Yeah. And they said, you can't appropriate our name and blah, blah, blah. And this went all the way through high court battles because, of course, Chobani was like, no, it's about the process. We make it in that Greek process.
Yeah. Greek style, yeah.
So this is exactly this case with Belgian White. They would argue and say, I mean, this guy's literally from Belgium. And he's saying, no, I'm a Belgian guy making a Belgian process. Yes, I'm making it in German.
I learned it in Belgium.
I learned it in Germany, and in Belgium, thank you. But I'm just making it physically in America. Confederation are saying, no. You have to do all of that and make it in Belgium.
And that won. I'm actually quite...
It sets a precedent. Belgian style to Belgian wheat ale, it's not, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. As a consumer, I don't care. The fact that... But this obviously, it sounds very pedantic to us, but obviously this is huge industry. This is a huge business,
Well, then you'll really enjoy this next one then. Okay. So in 2012, Blue Moon came under fire from the Brewers Association for not stating on the bottle that the beer was made, Molson Coors, because they believed it was tricking people into thinking the Blue Moon Brewing Company was masquerading as an independent craft beer.
So I think that's fair.
So where does it say it on the bottle?
It'll be on the back
here
label.
It is. So it says under license from Coors Brewing Company and distributed by Molson.
And I think that's fair. I mean, I think it also just goes back to people want to be told the truth.
Yeah,
they want the transparency.
With the fact that it's such a big company, you as in part of a big company, you said something really interesting about the fact that they were hard to find, or
they need to do better on their SEO, which is search engine optimization. Basically, when you're trying to find them online, they need to do a better job for it. If you type in Blue Moon into Google, Instagram, or Twitter, you get everything from jewelry brands, holistic healers, media companies, to people reading your star signs and horoscopes. Blue Moon doesn't seem like it's an ownable name. It is definitely in the beer industry, but you've got to think outside of your industry. So Instagram in the US, they have 57,000. And on Twitter in the US, they've got 54,000.
So their presence in America is amazing.
Yeah. In contrast to the UK, Instagram, they've got 2.5K followers. Twitter, 121.
They've only got 121 followers. Yeah. We've got more followers than Blue Moon.
So I just...
Yes! Yeah. We've made it.
Just.
Yeah.
That is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, I think, honestly, it's just... They know where they're putting their money into and their spend. Overall, with Blue Moon, it's a very distinctive taste, very distinctive flavour. If you've had it, you'll recognise it. It's a Marmite beer. I think you either love it or you hate it. definitely check it out if you haven't. It's a Belgian White, but an American take on a Belgian White.
And definitely have it with a slice of orange.
Thumb it in.
And that's all we have time for this week's episode of the I'll Try That podcast. And so from me, Joe,
Rich,
and Simmo,
goodbye. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram,
Twitter,
and watch us on YouTube.
Goodbye now. Always drink responsibly, and if you or anyone else needs some help, go to drinkaware.co.uk for more information.